Hey y'all, how's it going? It's Cyber Saloon. So on today's Top Shelf, I wanted to go over the original Dragon Ball. The original Dragon Ball, in my opinion, is the best of the entire Dragon Ball franchise. And I came into it kind of late, like a lot of people. I had watched the original Dragon Ball Z first, and I didn't watch the original Dragon Ball until much later. And after seeing it, in my opinion, it's the best of the entire franchise. And I think for a lot of people that maybe have only seen Z, or just Z and Super, I would highly recommend this. I want this video to kind of change your mind on why you should watch the original Dragon Ball. On top of just connecting into Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball Super, I think that it honestly is just a great standalone series. Like, you could watch you could just watch Dragon Ball by itself, and you would still walk away saying that was an amazing show. It's a great coming to life kind of coming of age kind of story, and if you want to continue into Z, GT, and Super, then it builds a lot more into that, and it connects you to that world a little bit better because some of the characters you feel kind of a deeper connection with. So, because I've met like a couple people that I've talked about with anime over the past couple years that when I tell them about the original Dragon Ball, they go back and watch and like, that was actually really good. So I kind of want to give credence to the original Dragon Ball, and I really want to, for people that may have not seen it, I really want to try to sell you on why it's honestly an amazing show. It's my favorite thing that Toriyama's done, and that's not taken away from Dragon Ball Z. I love Dragon Ball Z. I like GT, and I actually do like Super, but this in particular, I think I would rather someone watch the original Dragon Ball than even Dragon Ball Z, and I kind of want to explain why. So, like a lot of people, Dragon Ball Z was the first kind of, anime that I knew about when I was growing up. I had watched a lot of it when it was coming on Toonami. The one that a lot of people kind of remember getting into the Frieza arc. I started watching it kind of around the time that the Android and the Cell saga was kind of going off. I feel like that, even after a rewatch, I feel like I can still say that the Cell saga and the Android saga is still my favorite. Not just because of the actual story that occurs and some of all the great moments, of course, but I feel like there's a little bit of nostalgia there for me too. It's just the Cell and the Android arc is like where I kind of started off on. But after I kind of watched, after I finished Dragon Ball Z, after the Buu arc ended, I kind of fell off anime, and I never really got back into it until I started watching Sword Art Online. Sword Art Online was kind of like my re-entry kind of, gateway in anime when I first got back into it when I was in college. And that's when I started routinely sticking to it as a medium and kind of fell in love with it again. But, so when lockdowns happened, my senior year of college, I actually got COVID. And I was about to rewatch Dragon Ball Z. I was like, you know what? It's been a while since I've really seen all of Dragon Ball Z. Part of me was like, have I really even seen all of it? Because I briefly remember Namek, and I kind of remember bits and pieces of Raditz. But I was like, I remember the Cell Saga, but I guess I don't remember if I've actually seen it all. So before that, this was when it was all on Funimation at the time. Rest in peace, you were missed dearly. I love Funimation. It had recommended me Dragon Ball. And so I was like, you know what? I've never actually seen Dragon Ball. I'm going to give it a shot. I know there's a lot of characters, there's a lot of crossover. I didn't even realize as long as it was. So Dragon Ball Z with the original show is about 291 episodes. And the original Dragon Ball is about 153. So it's like, this is going to be such a long show. But I was like, you know what? I've never seen it before. I want to give it a shot. And boy, did I. After watching all of Dragon Ball, it's not that I just consider it the best of all the Dragon Ball franchise. I honestly probably would put it in my top 10 favorite anime of all time. The original Dragon Ball is such an amazing kind of coming of age kind of story. And it's such an amazing show on every level. So like any good story, it lives and dies on its characters. Dragon Ball, in my opinion, is the best of the franchise because it gives its characters time to breathe, and it gives its characters a lot of room to grow. So the original Dragon Ball like focuses on Goku. It starts off with him being found by Bulma in the mountains while she's hunting Dragon Balls. And he's living out there in the mountains, knows nothing of society, has literally never even seen a woman before. Of course, with Toriyama, that's a butt of a lot of jokes, and I love Toriyama's humor in the original Dragon Ball. It shows a lot. It shows a little bit in Z, but I feel like it shows a lot more, and he's having a little bit more fun with it in the original Dragon Ball. And it does a good job at explaining, like, the hero that we would eventually know him to be in Dragon Ball Z. Like, you see the shaping of the Goku that we all kind of like love and know, like in Dragon Ball Z. You see that hero kind of being sculpted throughout all of Dragon Ball. So his discipline and his training, like, you see how all that, a lot of it comes from, honestly, Master Roshi. So all the characters important to Goku's life, like, they build that foundation so well in the original Dragon Ball. So you see, honestly, when Roshi's training Krillin and Goku, it's probably one of my favorite arcs. Like, it's this goofy kind of slice of life kind of arc where Goku and Krillin are, like, training under Master Roshi, and he's making them do all these absurd tasks during the day, and, like, they're just, like, they can barely walk it in the day. But the day always ends. They always get better. They always get stronger. They always get more. Their potential grows. And always ends with them, like, eating, some crazy lavish meal being eaten by them, lunch, and Master Roshi at the end of the night. And while that's going on, you have like everyone else doing their own thing. And that's great. Like, it's honestly great. Like, you have Yamcha, like, living over there with, like, Bulma and them. It's great. It does a really good job at explaining why Goku is the way he is, and it does a good job at explaining why all these characters matter to him. Like, especially, it does an amazing job at explaining why him and Krillin, they're such good rivals at the beginning. The way that Krillin's introduced in the show, where he swims up to Master Roshi's island with a bunch of magazines to try to, like, make Master Roshi, like, teach him. It's good stuff. Like, Krillin knows, like, what it takes to get Master Roshi to train him, but the friendship formed between Krillin and Goku is great. Like, they're such bitter rivals in the beginning, but you can be, by the end, especially of the first, like, World Martial Arts Tournament, which absolutely goated arc. The World Martial Arts, before I even go on, the arcs in Dragon Ball are so damn good. They roll into each one another, like, seamlessly, and you don't, to where it's like, there isn't an arc in Dragon Ball that I honestly think drags too long or goes on too long that I didn't love. And the World Martial Arts Tournament is such a good arc, and all the building up leading into it. But a big thing, there's no characters wasted. Like, kind of what I was, talking about in the beginning. Like, every character gets, like, a chance to grow, and no character feels like they're not important. Like, throughout the whole show, the whole cast is always doing something to support each other, or they're doing something to feel where they're going through their own personal arc and growth. And I love it. Like, everyone from Yamcha and Tien. Tien has an amazing arc in Dragon Ball. Like, after I like Yamcha. I know that, like, I know he's kind of being turned into the butt of jokes, literally by the own show. Everyone remembers that part. Everyone knows the meme in DBZ where he gets taken out by the Cybermen, but I mean, they even make fun of it in Dragon Ball Super. But Yamcha, I really liked Yamcha in Dragon Ball. I like that kind of, that rogue outlander that he kind of plays, and, like, a lot of his interactions with Goku. He becomes pretty fast friends with Goku, and they don't have too much, they have a lot in common. But Tien has such a good arc and he's such a good baseline strength character, like that. Like, he's actually extremely strong in the show. I was always surprised, like, when I ended up going and rewatching Z again, that they never used him more. Tien probably has one of the best personal arcs in the entire show, to where he starts off under the Crane School, and he does all this, like, really just, atrocious stuff to people. He treats people like garbage, and then Goku and especially Master Roshi kind of help him get out of that, help him and Chaozu kind of get out of that, the way they've been acting. It's an amazing arc. But there's no character that's wasting the show. Like, Bulma's great in the show. You get a lot, like, Bulma is very much the way she is in Z2, and that's not, like, and that's not a bad thing. Like, she starts off when she meets Goku, she's already some genius, like, She's very much she's just a great engineer, but with a fiery attitude. Bulma's great. She's a lot of really good humorous bits. She helps out Goku and everyone else. Tien and Yamcha have really good arcs in the show. Tien versus Yamcha is honestly one of my favorite fights in all of the entire Dragon Ball franchise. That fight in the Second World Martial Arts Tournament between them is so good. But it's great. Like again, there's no character wasted. Like another character I wish that doesn't really carry over. And which is kind of crazy too, because if you watch the original Dragon Ball, like this character is always been not, and I wouldn't say important, but she was always a big support of Master Roshi, and mainly of Goku and Krillin was Launch. I love Launch's bits in this. Like a lot her bits, like when she sneezes, she turns from like the sweetest woman ever into a gun crazed like maniac, like with a fiery attitude. I mean, see, it saves their hides a couple times in the series, but it also gets Master Roshi riddled with bullets on more than a couple. But it's great. Like, again, like all the characters are great. You love seeing them all together. Like every time they go out and celebrate, every time that something bad happens, they all have to get together. Like you love seeing this cast of characters. They're really good to see. It's good to see how a lot of these foundational relationships kind of start between Krillin and Goku, how they first met, how Goku first meets Chi-Chi, Baba, like all these people, how central, and like how Goku gets a lot of good character growth throughout the series. He really does. I wish he got as much. He gets a little bit in Z, but not as much. There's a lot of emotional moments with Goku in the show, specifically when he gets to meet his grandpa again at Baba's. For those who haven't seen it, I don't want to spoil it, but how it happens. But Goku gets a lot of really strong emotional moments in the actual show. He's this boy who's never seen civilization, and he's literally been living in himself. Everyone knows he's special, but he's been living in the mountains for his whole life. One of my favorite moments in the entire series is when they're going to the world's first martial arts tournament, and Goku looks down, and they're entering the city for the first time, and Goku doesn't know what it is, because this is he's never seen this many people together, even on their journey to get to Master Roshi's and everything else. He's really only been in really small rural villages and whatnot, but he's never seen a city. So the idea that there are so many lights where it looks like the night sky below because he thinks it's stars it's a little bit touching. I liked it. And also it's funny too when Goku tries Goku goes off on his bit to train, but when he comes back to try to find Bulma, he tries to find Bulma's house, and of course Bulma's dad, and their family's the richest people on the planet, and he's trying to find out where Bulma lives, and it's this giant ruckus of him trying to find his way to the house because he's well, how am I want to go where Bulma lives, and no one's who's Bulma? There's a million people here. It's really good. There's a lot of great moments throughout the series. Kind of like that, and it kind of gives you a good insight on why and how he's formed as many good relationships as he has. And Goku's not the only one who gets development. As I said before, Tien gets a lot of really good development in the series, and so does Krillin, and Yamcha, and everyone else. There's a lot of really good. There's a lot of good banter. It's a great kind of coming of age story too. And coming in at 153 episodes long, it doesn't drag the way that Dragon Ball Z does. And I understand that, Kai probably, I think, I haven't seen Dragon Ball Z Kai, Dragon Ball Kai, but I understand that it cuts down on a lot of the filler episodes. And again, I always want to, bash on the Namek Saga, but I understand now that, a big reason why they had so many filler episodes in the Namek Saga felt it was just never ending, was just because they were trying not to catch up with the manga when Toriyama was writing it. I was okay, but regardless, if you're just watching Dragon Ball Z, which I will always stand for, even the filler episodes but Dragon Ball doesn't have any of that. It has filler episodes, but I think that filler episodes can be good if done right. There's some filler episodes in it, but not arcs, but there are some filler episodes in it where it's Goku going off on his own, helping people in a village and a bunch of other stuff. Then, I think filler episodes can do a good job at building out the world and making you, giving a little bit more time to characters. And Dragon Ball has a little bit of filler episodes, but it's not a lot. It's not a lot at all. Each arc kind of seamlessly rolls into one each other to where you really don't feel it. The way that the second World Martial Arts Tournament rolls into the King Piccolo saga, which is an amazing transition the way that it happens too. That really just wait, what just happened kind of moment when it happens. The way that the World Martial Arts Tournament rolls off into its next arc, the way that I think from the World Martial Arts Tournament, the way that it rolls into the Red Ribbon arc. The Red Ribbon arc is one of my favorite arcs. Is my favorite arc in all of Dragon Ball. I love the Red Ribbon arc. It's such an amazing arc of Goku. He's really not just trying to bring down like one main antagonist, but he's trying to bring down this evil organization. But I love all the different generals and all the different settings you go to when he's trying to beat the Red Ribbon Army. I love the little ice fortress and how he meets Ader. I love Ader, like the little Frankenstein android. In his fight with the whole ninja in the fortress, it's great. General Blue is a standout. I love the whole I love General Blue. He's such a goofy character. Of course, Bulma thirst trapping over him is hilarious, but the show has, like, honestly, it's not even just the protagonist that you care about here. The show has actually really good antagonists. Like, all the generals of the Red Ribbon Army arcs are great. Like General White when he first meets him, General Blue, and of course he finally rolls over into honestly one of the best like villains in all of Dragon Ball, which is Mercenary Tao. Mercenary Tao has just one of the craziest intros to a villain where you're just like, you feel like, oh, this guy means business. They hire him, everyone's scared of him, like when they first meet him. And the way that he finds Goku too, like he literally just launches himself from a pillar all the way to where Goku is and just looks like he kills them basically without any effort. Like he's just a stone cold killer. And like all the antagonists of like the show are great. Again, from General Red to all the other antagonists of the Red Ribbon arc. The World Martial Arts Tournament's great with Jackie Chun. We do love Jackie Chun. Tien and Crane, like those are like great antagonists, and of course capping it off with King Piccolo and what would eventually be Junior. Like the show really does have a lot of really good antagonists, and they kind of all build on each other. Like you have the small scale of like war with Emperor Pilaf at the very beginning, and it kind of builds up into what would the big threat, which is like King Piccolo, and then what is eventually kind of becoming Junior after King Piccolo is defeated. And the fights are great too. Like if you're looking for that, the fights are really good too. Again, Yamcha, a lot of the World Martial Arts Tournament fights are really good. Yamcha versus Tien, in my opinion, is still one of the best. King Piccolo versus like young Goku is still great. And when our Piccolo, the Piccolo that we know and love, when he fights Goku in the final World Martial Arts Tournament, that's also a great fight. There's a lot of really good fights throughout the entire series, and that's awesome. The animation, I love the animation. It's still beautiful. The sunsets, the different settings that they do, the animation is still really pretty and holds up. The voice acting, I watched it dub, like it's great. I still really, really love the dub. Like it's an amazing series. Like it really is. The original Dragon Ball is a great coming of age story, and it has really rich storytelling and characters that really kind of stick with you and that you really just like being on screen. There wasn't any time where all the cast of Dragon Ball was assembled and you're like, wow, like I want to go into the next scene. Like you really enjoy seeing them all together, and I really can't recommend it enough. If you've seen Dragon Ball Z and you like Dragon Ball Z, I cannot recommend enough that you watch the original Dragon Ball. Because if you watch the original Dragon Ball, there's a lot of moments, especially at the end of the Buu arc and characters that you see that'll tug on your heartstrings. You're like, oh, I remember them. Like I remember them. It's great. It really is great. And again, you can just, even if you've never seen Dragon Ball Z, you could start the show and fall in love with it. Because then honestly, you could watch this to the end and not watch Z and still like love it. But if you want to watch Z, it adds so much to it that it'll stick with you. An amazing show, easily one of my top 10 anime. If you haven't seen it before, especially if you've seen Dragon Ball Z, I can't recommend you go and watch it enough. It's great, storytelling is great, the characters are great, and I think Toriyama's at his peak in this one. I highly recommend it. That's all I got for this, guys. I'll see you on the next one.